Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Friday message. It's September. How do I know? Well, we're gearing up for the vaccine season, aren't we? So that's COVID vaccine via your GP because you're a frontline healthcare worker. So you're in a category of special interest and benefit. And our own Ardash flu vaccination campaign, really in the field in October. But can I ask you to think now about your needs? Talk to your team. If you're a team leader or a manager in our organisation, the Trust is absolutely positively in favour of both of those vaccine programmes as part of keeping you safe, your family and household safe, and our patients safe. So you'll be hearing much more about that, I promise you, between now and Christmas on these Friday films. Hopefully Last of the Summer Sunshine will be on the Rotherham Show at the weekend. Hope you have a good time. Thanks to the team who are representing our organisation there as they have at other events across the patch. And remember, Recovery Games, 16th September. I'll be there with you. Hope you'll make that part of your plans for the autumn. It's a varied life being in the board. This week we've been getting over the line with our annual accounts. Been a bit of a rigmarole this year. Big shout out to colleagues in finance who've put the extra hours in to get last year's accounts cleared. Looking forward to our AGM on the 28th of September, a chance for public accountability, look at our quality account, our finance account, and of course our annual report. Details on the screen if you want to get involved. But most of the board time this week was spent on our 15-step challenge, getting out and about across our organisation, talking to people, having a look at the safety, including the psychological safety of where you're working, where our patients are being cared for. Thank you to those people that welcomed us to that. It's been a really valuable time spent, and we'll reflect as a board on what we've taken from that experience. You'll notice a real emphasis in recent films for me on safety and on quality in our organisation. That's the absolute heartbeat of the leadership of the Trust, so I make no apology for that focus. I'm conscious too, over the next 6 weeks, we're towards the end of a process of thinking about our future management and leadership structure. What that means is that for a number of colleagues, there's a period of change. Of course, that brings both opportunity and anxiety. So acknowledging that some people working with you, with us, with me, will be going through that in September and early October. But the point I really wanted to stress here was why we're looking at the changes that we are. We've decided on reflection to keep the care group structure, the 5 care group structure that we've had for the last little while. There are 1 or 2 services moving about betwixt and between our current arrangements. But I guess the big change in the arrangements is to introduce underneath our care groups and above, if you like, individual services and departments, what we're calling our directorates that bring together a series of services under a given management structure. And there's something important about that management structure, which is that those directorates, like our care groups, like the Trust as a whole, will be led together by professional managers, lead therapists, lead psychological professionals, lead medics, and lead nurses and matrons. A multi-professional leadership at that frontline level that perhaps we haven't necessarily had in the past. Really big part of the first of 2 things that we want to get from the changes, which is to have a clinically led organisation. The second is to introduce a presumption of consistency across Ardash in the way in which we try and provide care. So care models in Scunthorpe, in Doncaster, in Rotherham would typically be the same. There will be the odd exception that's based on defined population need rather than history or preference, but definitely as we go through the next 18 months, we want to use the opportunity of our strategy and that new structure to introduce an assumption, a presumption of consistency as we level up standards of care across our organisation. So absolutely acknowledge the challenge of the changes that we're working through with trade union colleagues and with our managers and leaders, but wanting to get across in this film the 2 things we really want to get out of those changes: a more clinically led organisation and more consistency across Ardash. I'd really hope, but let me know if not, that those are 2 things that have your thumbs up in the organisation that you want to be a part of. Okay, back next week, reflecting on the learning from our trip to Navigo and the opportunity for us and that organisation to think together about what we can gain from deeper collaboration. Cheers.